In this worksheet entitled Match Index, we want to show you two different ways to use the match and index functions together to pull out appropriate information from a table. In column A, we see the words April and DVD drives. Eventually, we might even want to use data validation here to create a drop list to allow us to be a little more flexible. But let's just imagine we want to be able to change these and then come up with the appropriate sales figure for that month and that item. Let's first of all focus on April only to recognize its location here. It's the fourth entry here. Equal match. April is what we're looking for, comma, and where are we looking? In these cells right here. By the way, we might want to choose total out there, so we are including that cell as well. And we need an exact match. So what does this tell us? April is in the fourth location of this range right here. And similarly, with DVD drives, we also want to use the match function to find that bit of information, comma, in these cells. Comma 0, we're looking for an exact match. Where is DVD drives found in this list? It's in the third position from the beginning of the list if we choose exact match. Using the index function, we can refer to the cells we're looking at for the values. They're right here, comma, and we're trying to get information out of the fourth row for April, comma, and the third column, enter, 4565. We're looking at April right here and DVD drives and where they intersect, 4565. That's the answer we got. Nothing wrong with doing this separately. In fact, sometimes that's a good idea to build these separately. What we might also do after being more familiar with this is essentially turn this into one formula by taking this match function, highlighting just this portion of it, pressing Control C, and then escape. Let's plug it into this formula here. So instead of this referring to B3, we'll make it refer to, as I press Control V, the function as we saw it in B3. Obviously, it makes this longer, and you don't necessarily need to do this. But if we really do want to turn this into one function, we'll again do the same thing here. Take this information, edit it, copy just this portion of it, escape, plug that into here as well. Instead of the B4, press Control V to paste that information. A much, much longer function, but now we have the complete answer, and we don't need these cells. So it's just a question of whether you want to do that or not. We could put it over here or wherever. Eventually put in data validation errors if you wish, but it does show how we can nest these functions in a creative way to pull out information from this table. Now, over in columns L, M, and N, imagine that this represents a huge table, perhaps in another worksheet, and in a different location, you've got a list of Social Security numbers, and you need to look up someone's name. You want to know who's associated with this particular Social Security number. It so happens that what we're trying to look up here, because your first thought might be a VLOOKUP, we're trying to find this information, but it's not in the left column of a table. Potentially, maybe we could move this to become the left column of the table, but you can't always do that. Maybe this table is controlled by someone else. It's in a different workbook. Maybe this table is used by a variety of different functions already, and you can't alter the order of the columns here. So we need to find out, first of all, where this exists in the list. And we use the match function here to find this value, comma, in this list. Now, once again, we might be tempted to use the entire column, but it looks like we got an empty row above it. Let's still try it anyway. Click here, comma. We need an exact match, 0. Is this Social Security number found? And if so, where? It's in the 12th position. We see it right there. We've got that match. But now let's go pick up the name. We need to use the index function to pull information out of the first column. Here it's column L, 12th row. So for the moment, we'll put this in a separate column and then put them back together. So armed with this information, we know which row this is coming out of. We need to use the index function now. So where are we looking? Now, first thought might be we're looking in these three columns. Well, not really. All we're looking for is the name. So we're just looking in column L, comma. Which row are we looking for? If it were only one case, we could type in a 12. But we're looking for the information that we found here. So we'll use this for the moment in the 12th cell downward. And which column? There's only one column here, so we actually don't need anything, but it would be logical to put in a 1, and that's okay. But actually, we don't need anything. But at least this will work. And there's our answer. It's Thomas Watson. If the range that you're using for the index is only one column, we don't even need the column reference, as I suggested, so we'll take that out there too. And here too, as in our previous example, it may make sense after you work with these for a while to essentially do this all in one step. Take this information here, copy it with Control-C and Escape, plug it in here into this location. We'll do a paste, enter. We don't need this anymore. So this use of index and match together, as in the previous example, allows us to find information that we couldn't find by using a VLOOKUP, the most common kind of lookup likely to be used when you have columnar information. Index and match give us this potential to pull together information by using the functions in a nested way.